Life After Sports podcast. All right. Tonight, the theme is talking about why having a support system is important. And our mission, just for those who don't know what our mission is to educate, share perspectives, and discuss the sports aspects of the sports industry with current and former NFL athletes. I saw you move the camera around a little bit. Hey, our special guest we got on the show tonight is Patrick Surtain. And I appreciate him for taking the time to come out here tonight, be on our podcast, and share his experience. He's a former NFL player, also a 3-time Pro Bowler, all right, and as well, currently he's the head coach at American Heritage High School. So again, I appreciate you. This episode 6. I appreciate you getting on here, Pat.
Big dog, we go back a long way, man. You know, I know you're doing some good things, man, and it's always a pleasure to come on and talk to you. And whenever you need my help, man, I'm always willing to lend it.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Tell Mike Smith I said what's good back there, man.
You know what it is, man. D2D, the best in the business.
All right, you already know, man. So, man, look, tonight I wanted to get right into it, man. For those who know a little bit about you, but tonight we're going to go a little in depth. So let's talk about where you grew up, where you were born. Talk about your adulthood.
Well, Kev, I don't know if many know, man, but I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay.
Grew up in the Magnolia Projects.
Wow.
I know y'all see the videos of Lil Wayne, Cash Money, and all that, but I really went through that. I really lived it. So, you know, just being a person to come out that situation and make it to where I've made it, you know, truly blessed, man. And in adulthood now, I'm in Plantation, Florida. It's the opposite of where I grew up at. So you get the hood, and now I'm in the suburbs. So I live both of them. So I know how to react in any given situation, man. But where I grew up at has made me the person that I am today. So that's what it is.
And you talked about that. You know what the area that you grew up is what made you who you are today. Let's talk about that. Your support system. I mean, that's what our topic is today, talking about what is the importance of having a great support system behind any person. So let's talk about your support system and your family that was truly important in your life. You know, who were those family members, or who were those significant others who played a role in who you are today?
Yeah, man, when you grow up in a impoverished community, it's pretty much it's everybody plays a part, whether it's your family members or a neighbor or anybody like that. But you know, fortunately for me, I had my mom, my dad, I had my brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles, and you know, the thing about growing up in a situation like that, you always have family members around, so I can lean on an aunt, an uncle, you know, and then my coaches in Little League, you know, they played a major part of my development. And I'm pretty sure for every athlete who made it to the highest level, there was, you know, this situation or a time where somebody in your childhood that played a major part in your upbringing to help you get what you can get. And then, you know, growing up in the Magnolia Projects, my coach in Little League, Coach Bill Robinson, he was actually at my high school. So it's sort of like recruiting today. You get the best players out of Little League. So he was over there, and he got me out of my situation and brought me to Edna Carr High School, which is a perennial power. You know, since I went there, we was the first Orleans Parish public school to win a state championship in 1993. Long time ago, 7 years ago. And now you fast forward that, we've won like 6 out of the last 10 state championships in New Orleans. So, you know, it's been a process, man. But the guys who've been in my life, whether it's my football coach or my AAU coaches, where we won 3 straight AAU championships. I was a starting point guard. But those guys play a major factor, man. I'm pretty sure for most other kids that grew up in a situation like I did.
Yeah. So let's talk about your high school experience, man. So let's tell me about when did you first of all, when did you start picking up a football? When did you know that, hey, you know, football, because I'm pretty sure you played other sports as well, but when did you know, like, hey, I'm gonna spend more time in football?
Well, I started playing football when I was 7 years old. I still remember the day my older brother was playing, and I was playing in Jets and they're like, bro, you need to go play. So dude named Keaton John, I still remember the name. Their little sister name was Sweet Pea. Red Bone, Sweet Pea. I remember Sweet Pea too. But Keaton Johnny, man, and we walked 3 miles to football practice.
Wow.
We walked 3 miles of football practice every day from the Magnolia to the St. Thomas Projects. Every day. And that's kind of got me started. And like you said, I didn't just play one sport. I played basketball, like I said, won the AAU championships, played baseball when I was younger, ran track, and did everything, man. Just to kind of get away from the pain and just do something constructive, because there was so much other stuff going on around me where you didn't want to get involved with that. But like I said, man, the family members and the OGs who knew my situation, knew what kind of athlete I was, they kept me out of trouble. Even though I was poking to get into it, they kind of kept me out of it and steered me in the right direction.
Well, that's good. Like, it takes a village to raise somebody. It really does. I know a lot of people think, oh, it's just the mom and dad, but it takes a whole village, from coaches, from parents, from grandparents, to other people's families that played an important role in your life. So, I think that's important. It takes a village in order to contribute to someone's success. How did you make your decision going to University of Southern Mississippi?
Oh man, it's crazy because a lot of people don't know I played quarterback in high school.
What?
Yeah, quarterback, like the real deal. You can ask anybody. I hope somebody tweets some, text some on this live, but they know. If you talk past Surtain, New Orleans, they know I played quarterback, the real deal. So quick story is, my senior year, the 3 quarterbacks coming out of Louisiana was me, Peyton Manning, and Josh Booty. I know a lot of people don't know Josh Booty was the real deal. Yeah. Okay, so at the end of the year, they have the All-Star game. And all 3 of us go to the All-Star game. So you think me, you see DB, you see all that, quarterback. Who do you think started in the All-Star game?
You did.
Exactly. The real deal. Went head up against Peyton, beat their heads in, then get to play against Josh Booty. But it is what it is. So, throughout high school, I'm thinking, man, I'm the next Charlie Ward. That was my guy. Like Charlie Ward, like I thought I was the next Charlie Ward. Had the arm, I could throw the ball 70 yards. My running skills were impeccable. I thought I was a quarterback. So the decision came down to LSU, Southern Miss. And what's crazy about it is LSU wanted me to be a defensive back.
Yeah.
How ironic is that? Southern Miss told me I could play quarterback. So I chose Southern Miss. So my second day into camp, Southern Miss switched me to DB.
Second day in camp?
Second day in camp. 4th practice. I guess they saw some value in me. I was devastated. But, it turned out how it did, man. But to this day, man, we play flag football to this day, and I'm the quarterback. And I'm still the best quarterback in the league. And you have guys that vouch for me. So that's how it went down.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what you did.
You've been in one of our games before, right?
Yeah, no, I have.
Jose, so you know the deal. Okay.
Hey, I already know you the real deal, man. I already know.
Okay.
Hey, look, you just told me something new. I didn't know that you played quarterback. I didn't have a clue you played that in high school before you got to college. Like I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't only play. I played it well. Played it well. In order to go on a scholarship to play quarterback. So it wasn't little play stuff. Like, how was the deal?
So during your time at University of Mississippi, University of Southern Mississippi, Southern Miss.
There we go.
At your time there, when did you know, throughout your career there, and you're like, you know what, I really could make a living doing this.
You know what? I probably didn't know until my junior year. You know, my freshman and sophomore year, I was kind of toying, trying to get my feet underneath me. Just getting used to being away from home, even though I was like an hour and a half away from home. It was still a win on my own. So just figuring out the process of going to school, playing sports in a college, setting. It wasn't tough, but I was just trying to get my feet underneath me. And then junior year, that's when I really took off. In that Southern Miss, we always played the best schools. That year, then we played Georgia, we played Bama, we played Florida, we played Tennessee. So we didn't shy away from anybody. My junior year, I had 6 picks. And then, after my junior year, because I wasn't really thinking about it, I was just playing ball for the love of it. After my junior year, guys started to say, you might have a chance to play at the highest level. Yeah. And I remember, when I was younger, I would always say that I want to play in the NFL. After my junior year, it became a reality to me. And my senior year, obviously, I took off, made All-American. We beat Georgia in Georgia, tore down the hedges. Had 2 picks against Florida, my first game of the year. Balled out, won Defensive Player of the Year in my conference, made All-American team. So then that's when they finally came to fruition, like, man, you probably could play on that level. And then got nominated to go to the Senior Bowl, played the Senior Bowl, had a hell of a week. And that's when it took off from there, man. Got invited to the Combine, and then obviously got drafted. The rest is history.
Gotcha. So, let's talk. You had a great career. And let's talk about the experience leading up to you going to the NFL draft in '98. I know there's probably a lot of things going through your head, like, man, what round am I going to go? Maybe some naysayers saying, hey, man, you probably ain't going to go that high. We don't know what your draft stock was going to be at that particular time. Like, how were you feeling around your draft in '98?
It was iffy. It was iffy because you hear different reports coming out of the Senior Bowl. Like I've had some. My agent was telling me I would go in the first round, or some had me second round. You never know. Coming from Southern Miss, it was a big school, but it wasn't really a big school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I had more to prove than the other guys. So coming out the Senior Bowls, I had a great week, played great in the game, and my tape spoke for itself. So when the draft came, I was getting calls like, you might go late first round, but I wouldn't change it for the world, man. God put me in a position where I went 44th overall in the draft, and that's what it was. I went to the right situation, went to the right city, the right state, played for the right organization, and it worked out well, man. Who's to say if I would have went to somewhere different, they probably would have had a different situation. So it all worked out for me, man. So truly blessed.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And then look, then you got to the league, and then you had one hell of a career. You played 11 seasons in the NFL. The average career in the NFL is what, 3.5, 4 years, if that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So, let's talk about how supportive your family was in your career, while being in the NFL, like your career experience, like how supportive was having them around and being there for you?
Oh man, it was great. It was great. I can remember, my mom and dad coming down to see all my games. They passed away, but I remember just the support from them, other family members. Actually, when I got drafted by the Dolphins, my older brother moved to South Florida with me, and he's still down here to this day. So that's blood right there. That's
Yeah.
big bro. And then obviously met my wife. She moved down with me. Big support system. Her friends, her family.
Yeah.
They moved down. My brothers and sisters, and then had my son in 2000. Had my son in 2000, and that really changed. Being in the NFL that young, having a kid, you kind of put things in perspective. But at the same time, you had a job to do.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have the family to take care of. So family has always been supportive. Man, I have a huge family in New Orleans. I have Surtains on one end, then the Carters on the other end. Like, I have cousins that I don't even know. It's huge. I'm telling you. It's huge, man. And, it's been a great support system. And still to this day. Still to this day, man. You go to New Orleans and mention the Surtain name, somebody gonna know somebody.
Yeah.
So, it's been great. And
you're right about that, right? I'm up here in New Orleans. I came to New Orleans today, and I spoke to you about that earlier. I came to New Orleans today, but I'm in Alexandria, and I'm over here at the table before I get on the podcast, and I'm talking about who I'm interviewing on the podcast today. He's like, "Oh, I know about Surtain." Oh yeah, absolutely. So you're right about that. They know the name.
Yeah, they know the name because it's a rare name. You hear Surtain, people think. But I tell people that it's like a French Creole name.
Yeah.
Surtain. Some people say Surtain. But you hear that name, man, it's rare. So if you one of us, you have to be related to me, and we carry the name well in New Orleans, man. We all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about your career, because I'm over here talking about pre-career. Hey, Pat, we're talking about pre-career, in-career, and then we're going to talk about post-career. So during your career, many players, everybody faced different obstacles, or they had either something that was positive or something that was negative. Talk about your career in regards to playing in the NFL. Was there any obstacles that you faced, positive or negative, within your career?
Oh man, absolutely. I think in any job that you take on, you're gonna face obstacles. Now, I can remember clearly my rookie year. I came to rookie minicamp. I think I had like 7 picks in rookie minicamp. I thought I was it, and then boom, come to preseason, I couldn't make a play. I remember giving up a touchdown against Tampa in preseason, and I'm thinking to myself, man, do I really belong? And that's when it kicks in. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Yeah. What are you gonna do about it? Thankfully it was in preseason. Regular season came, and then I finally caught my niche. Because I played the corner, I played the slot. So when I caught my niche, the game slowed down to me, and then it was on from there. Obviously, you tend to, at the highest level, things are gonna happen to you because there are athletes, just as good as you, or even better. So you're gonna give up plays, but for my career, man, I felt like I made the majority of the plays that were handed to me and gave up the least, and the numbers will back that up. Now, I remember going 2 years in a row, 32 games without giving up a touchdown, having 13 picks, having 42 breakups in 2 years. I don't know if a lot of guys can say that, but that would happen. Also had 6 sacks within that time. So if you combine that, like I said, the numbers speak with itself, man. But you have teammates that come along that help you out. So it was a great time in the NFL. I wouldn't change it for the world, but I don't think the NFL and how I play, I don't think that defined me as a person. I did it for years, but I retired at 34, have a lot more years ahead of me, and I think, giving back to kids, I think that's my calling. So that's what I'm doing now.
Man, you talk about giving back to kids. You're definitely doing that. You're absolutely doing that at American Heritage and just doing that in general. So talk about your transition process. When within that 11 years of your career, when did you know that there was going to be a transition from playing to retirement? Every player meets this point. They never know when it may happen. Some may and some may not. When did that transition happen for you?
Yeah, the transition was hard because I still felt like I had some years in me. I remember my last year in Kansas City, I tore my quad muscle, and I don't know if y'all know that quad muscle is serious. Like boom, I feel like I got shot. Just like Achilles, but it's my quad. So it went down. I missed like 8 weeks that year. Missed like 8 games. Came back. Wasn't myself. Couldn't really get back to how I wanted to play. And the amount of money I was making, like you already know, they trying to find the young guys to step into your place. It happens to everybody every year. So when that happened, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do next? So what happened was I took on the Little League role. My son was of age where he could play Little League and just come back from Kansas City back to South Florida, just getting in the parks and come to find out quickly that Little League football down here is totally different than anywhere else. So got him in the Opposite League, and I'm out there, and I was like, I'm letting the coaches coach, but at the same time, I'm like, man, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what they're talking about, so let me get involved. So that's basically how I got back involved in football, on a Little League level, coaching Lil Pat. And then he's been going to Heritage since kindergarten. So I was around the program. We'll come watch the games, but wasn't really involved in the game. And then, Coach Rump, who was the head coach before me, called me and like, Pat, you want to come join the staff? I'm like, sure, man, I'm out there every day, so why not? And then with my son going there, I was just around the game. So that's how I got affiliated with high school football in South Florida. And it's been great ever since, man. Coach Rump did a great job of setting the standard. He won 2 state championships. And then I took over. He did 3 years. He went to University of Miami. And when I took over, we won 2 straight state championships. And, going forward, man, we looking to do some special things. We finished 2nd in the country in 2017, 16, 17. So, we built, a pretty stable program, a national program that's something that we can be proud of in the South Florida area.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talked about how you got into coaching. That was one. Then you talked about your success at American Heritage. When did you start coaching American Heritage? Was it 2016?
It was 2016.
Okay.
2016 was my first year. Yep.
As the head coach.
I was on the staff before that. I was a defensive back coach, and I was a defensive coordinator for a year.
Gotcha. How long did you get a chance to coach your son?
I coached him, like I said, I coached him in Little League football, then I coached him in high school. So he pretty much came up through me. His 9th grade year, I was the DC, but then his 10th, 11th, 12th grade year, it's 11th and 12th grade year, I was the head coach.
Gotcha. Can you hear me? Because I know the signal going in and out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So talking about, I mean, your success there. I mean, you've been there for almost not as a head coach. You've been there about 4 years, 5 years.
This is about to be my 5th year coming up.
5th year, and you've done tremendous things already there, Pat. So coaching may have been your calling, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah, man, but you know what? Behind every successful person is some guys that he can trust and rely on. And I'll be remiss if I didn't mention the guys who I work with, man. Like, they make my job easy. Like, so many people behind the scenes that do so much for the program. And obviously, as the head coach, you're gonna get all the glory. But I know, and then I'm humble enough to admit that I wouldn't be who I was without the guys who work with me. And we have some tremendous guys who work with me, man. Obviously, you know, Aronde Gas and Daryl Porter, Mike Smith, D2D. Look at this dude back here.
I see you, Aronde.
My dog, big Travis Bob, who does everything for the program. We have other guys who are on the staff who works full time at the school. And it is exactly what I said, man. It's a program. It's just not one person. It's a bunch of guys behind the scenes that make this thing go, man. And that's what makes it so special.
No, you're right. It takes, like we talked about it from the beginning, it takes a village. So that same village is your whole, that team, that camaraderie that you have with your coaches. That's the village for these young student athletes. So talking about student athletes, we just talked about the support system. Do you guys, how important is that team that you have in regards to your coaching staff, and how do the student athletes relate to you guys? Like, talk about that process. Like, how was it at the beginning, you know, being able to, you know, get your core team as coaches? Because I know, because working in the coaching industry, it's pretty much the same. You want to make sure you have guys that you trust, coaches that's going to run through a wall for you. But that team that you have, you know, that's what your roster of kids, that's what they look at. They look for young men like yourself, so they can be that you guys are examples to them. Tell us about how important that village is, and how important your team in regards to your coaches.
It's very important. We have a coaching staff of 12 guys, but we have 6 guys that's actually on campus every day. Wow. So you know where other people think about is just football, we understand, you know, the problems that kids may have that they probably can't tell their parents. So coaches are like parents on campus. So guys might feel comfortable come telling us stuff that they wouldn't be able to tell their parents. So we're there for them, man. Not only, you know, physically, but emotionally, and we give them that support, knowing that they have so many avenues and people that they can come talk to try to figure things out, man. You wouldn't even understand, man. Even though we're a private school, we have kids that have so many difficulties, so many problems, and to have that support system behind them to support them and let them know that we have their back, you know, regardless. Some of these kids, you know, come to school, man, they're not eating. You know, we have to get them food. You know, just things that might seem minuscule to some people, but it's a big deal to us because, like I said, football is one thing, but, you know, dealing with life for some of these kids coming from, you know, disadvantaged situations like I have, and a lot of my coaches, we know what to expect and we know how to give back. So it makes it important to have guys on your staff who share the same, you know, the same energy and the same vision as you do, to know what we have to do in order to make these kids successful.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, if you had to give one advice to a high school student whose aspiration is to play college football, and I know that before you answer that question, because I know that you help kids that don't even attend your high school. I know that you're giving coaching advice to other kids from other schools that may ask you, because obviously you've been in the realm of high school coaching and coaching Little League for a little while, that you do give advice to other kids as well if they're not in your program. I mean, that's what we do as coaches.
Yeah, man. The advice I would give players is, you know, trust your coaches. Trust your coaches. Like we have a saying around our school: everything is earned, not given. And you know, you have to earn your way. People got to understand, man, that there's a certain amount of scholarships that go around. It's a certain percentage of kids that make it to college. So you got to be receptive to the situation, and not rely on going to the big college, the college that have the name, but go somewhere that fits you. You know,
Yeah.
obviously, I would never, you know, tell a kid to stop dreaming, but we know that few kids make it to the NFL. So my whole thing is get your college, go to college, get a degree, and become successful men in your communities. You know, it's more them than guys in the NFL. So
Yeah.
even though I want you to reach your goals and your aspirations, at the end of the day, we know most of the time it's not attainable. So get your college degree, man. Become great in your community, give back to your community, become successful young men. I know some of the guys I grew up with, man, still some of my best friends to the day, went to high school together. They didn't make it to the league, man, but they're successful in
In their own
whatever
right.
they choose. So that's what it's about, man. It's a small percentage of us that make it professionally, but there's a larger percentage that can do great things in the community. So that's why I try to, you know, teach the kids.
Yeah, and I respect that. Like I see the work that you do with your high school students, and I love it. You know, because we especially being here in South Florida, you know, we got a lot, it's a home bed for breathing athletes, but it's more to that. You know, we want them to be young, successful men, and you being a part of their life with your whole team and being able to contribute to their life, I think is important. So I mean, I attribute everything that you're doing with your team and giving back to the community, man. Just keep up the good work. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of what you did in your career, but I'm even more proud of what you're doing outside of the NFL, but we're doing in these young adults' lives.
Man, I appreciate you having
Well,
me,
with that
man.
being said,
Go ahead, Cal.
no,
Go
I'm
ahead.
done. My bad. It was a little fuzzy.
No, I was saying, man, I see
Go ahead, D.
I see my girls on here. I'm not home. I'm by Mike's house, man. Mike had the barbecue, so I see my girls on here. I just want to give them a shout out because they're gonna say when I get home, you always say something about Pat, but you don't say something about us. So I'm giving y'all a shout out. Paris, Parker, Michelle, I love y'all. I'll be home soon. And
Hey, gotta give the family, shout out.
Yeah, you see?
Hey, what's up? Hey, Mike Smith. I see you. What's up, Rondé? All right. I see y'all, fam. Chilling. But yeah, man, I appreciate you getting on here, man, and being able to give your time and share with our viewers about, you know, the impact of having sports not only in your life, but having a village around you. And that's important. So that having that support system is important. So I appreciate you taking the time on coming up on this podcast, episode 6, and being able to share your experience. So I appreciate that.
Oh, man, you know what it is, man. When you get home, man, hook on me.
You said what?
When you get home, the hook on me, dog.
I got you, man. I just finished my glass of wine, so when I get home, man, I'm definitely calling you, man, so we can link
Hey,
up.
man, I ran out of my Remy. The bottle of Remy you gave me, I need another bottle with my name on it.
It's done?
It's done. And I tried to get OG's, but G's done too.
All right. Hey, I got you. I'm going to get you another bottle, man. I got you. I'm going to work on that and get that to you.
That's what's up, man.
All right, my brother. Hey, have a good night, man. When I get back in Fort Lauderdale, we'll definitely link up.
No doubt, man. Stay safe, man. Enjoy my hometown, man. Enjoy the booth.
All right, man. I'm about to eat.
Yeah, get your grub on.
All right, then, man. You have a good night, man. Thanks again for your support, and I appreciate it.
All right, well.
All right, man.